Playful Pat and His First Airplane Ride by Lisa Kelly. Pat was known to be quite playful. When his big eyes sparkled and his little freckles twitched, you never knew what Pat would be up to next. Today was going to be an incredibly exciting day for Pat and his family. They were going on a vacation, and Pat would be flying on an airplane for the very first time. Pat could barely contain his excitement. He had seen planes high up in the sky, looking like tiny birds, and now he was going to be inside one. When they arrived at the bustling airport, Pat was amazed by all the people rushing around. "Hold my hand and stay close so we don't lose you," his mom said. They joined a long line at security, and Pat thought it might stretch all the way to the North Pole. "Be still and don't wiggle or squiggle, or you might bump into other people," his mom reminded him gently. Finally, they reached the front of the line. The security officer asked for his parents' driver's licenses, which Pat thought was strange since they wouldn't be flying the plane. Then they had to put all their stuff into bins, and Pat watched as it all went through a big machine. His mom had to throw away her water bottle, which she joked about, saying, "I don't want to get dehydrated from the car to the plane." Next came the most thrilling part. They rode on a super-fast train that zoomed through a tunnel. It went so fast that Pat had to hold on tight. Pat loved all the pinwheels that spun as they whizzed past them. After the train ride, they walked a long way, and Pat's legs were starting to feel like jelly. Luckily, they found a moving walkway that let them walk super fast without much effort. Pat's mom made sure his shoes were tied and that he held on to the rail. She explained, "Even though moving walkways and escalators seem fun, you have to be careful so you don't get hurt." Pat felt like a superhero zooming along the walkway, but he remembered to stay safe just like his mom said. But then, he saw it. Their gate and a gigantic plane painted in bright red and white, Pat's favorite colors. They stood in another long line to get on the plane. When they finally boarded, Pat was amazed by all the people inside the plane. Pat peeked into the cockpit. He saw so many buttons and switches, it was like a spaceship. They walked down the narrow aisle and found their seats. Pat was ready for his snack, but his mom said they had to wait until the plane was in the air. "Patience, young grasshopper," she teased with a smile. The plane started moving very slowly at first. "We're just taxiing to the runway," his mom explained. Then, all of a sudden, the plane zoomed faster and faster. Pat felt a tickly bubble in his stomach as they lifted off the ground and soared into the sky. Pat looked out the window and watched the world get smaller and smaller until all he could see were blue skies and fluffy white clouds. The ride was mostly smooth, but sometimes the plane would bump up and down. "That's called turbulence," his mom said. Finally, Pat could have his snack in color. A friendly flight attendant with a bright smile asked Pat if he'd like another snack and what he wanted to drink. Pat thought that was the coolest thing ever. Then, she asked if Pat had ever been on a plane before, and he said no. She came back with a certificate for a first-time flyer and a pair of wings to pin on his shirt. Pat sat back and imagined what it would be like to fly on the wing of the plane. His mom said it would be very windy and impossible to hold on, as they were flying between 500 and 600 miles per hour. Pat could not believe they were going that fast. Before he knew it, it was time to put his tray table back up because they were about to land. The world outside the window started to reappear, getting bigger and bigger. When they landed, Pat was ready to jump out of his seat. "Come on, let's go," he urged. But his mom said they had to wait their turn because the rows in front of them got off first. It felt like forever, and Pat wished he could be like Peyton Manning and yell, "Hurry, hurry!" but they finally got off the plane and stepped into a whole new world. Wow, it's like a magical transport machine, Pat exclaimed, eyes wide with wonder. And with that, their vacation adventure truly began. The end. Hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, leave your comments below, and let us know where you think Pat should go next. The world is waiting, and the adventure begins now. Join Playful Pat on an exciting journey through the skies. It's Pat's first time on an airplane, and everything is a brand new experience. From the bustling airport to the amazing view from above the clouds, Pat's adventure is filled with wonder and discovery. With each page, children will follow Pat as he navigates check-in, rides the train, and finds his seat by the window. Along the way, Pat meets new friends, learns about the fascinating world of airplanes, and even encounters a bit of turbulence. Playful Pat and his first airplane ride is a heartwarming tale that will delight young readers and ease any anxieties about flying. With charming illustrations and engaging storytelling, this book is perfect for kids who are curious about air travel or preparing for their own first flight. Buckle up and get ready for takeoff with Playful Pat.